Hey guys, it's Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. It is my birthday, and that makes me so excited. And I said I wasn't gonna be like one of those people that's like, it's my birthday, but I am one of those people that do that. So I'm really sorry. Actually, this year, I'm not gonna lie, I turned 29 today, and this year, I don't know, my birthday just kind of snuck up on me. I didn't really like count down to it, the older you get, the less you kind of care. But I did have some family come over. So, like my grandparents came over, and my mom and my stepdad and my brother and his husband came over, and it was really nice because there's a blizzard going on outside right now. So, yeah, they braved the weather just for that. So, anyways, I am in a super happy mood, and I'm super happy to show this house to you. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, like 2.5 bathroom country home, and I named it Wide Open Spaces because it's kind of what it reminded me of. This is in Brindleton Bay, right across the street from Brent and Brant, which I am going to be doing their house soon too as well. Yeah, it's a pretty large home, and I kind of imagine that maybe some hippies live here. It's very eclectic, it's very cluttered, so naturally I had a fun time with it. And also, one thing that I'm really excited about is I did not edit anything out of this house. And I know I've talked a little bit about it in the past, but whenever I would get really indecisive about things, which is pretty much all the time, I was like editing it out of my videos, and I felt like you guys were missing a lot. So then I asked a few people on one of the websites that I was on, and they were like, you know what, sometimes we actually prefer to see those things because that's when we get the most ideas. So I was like, okay, well, we're gonna do this. Like, I'm gonna record, and I'm not gonna cut anything out. The only thing that I cut out in this video was part of the front landscaping because, again, you know me, I'm getting better at landscaping, and I tried to record as much as I can. But I did cut a little bit of that out, but that's pretty much it. Everything else is like, you guys are gonna see like every decision and indecisive decision that I made with this house, but it turned out really well, and I really like it. I originally started to do this farmhouse as like an updated farmhouse, and then as I was building it, I decided like that I was just gonna make it more of like an older house, which I really like. I really love how this house turns out. It's very, like I said, it's very eclectic, it's very cluttered. So here I am just kind of laying out the downstairs. I didn't quite know like how to put everything, but I definitely wanted to have like a separate dining room, and I wanted to have like separate rooms. Like I wanted them to be like a little more cut off because a lot of times in like older houses you don't really see the open floor plans. So that's kind of what I was going for, and of course I had to have a back door. So you'll actually see in like the middle of this video, I actually changed the color of the home. Because I wanted it to, like, I felt like it looked a little bit too updated. And then upstairs with the floor plan, I was able to get 3 pretty decent sized bedrooms up there, so I was pretty happy about that as well. And I start here in the kitchen, and I end up changing the cabinets. I didn't really like that color, so I ended up changing them to like a green color, and it worked out really well. But I'm not gonna lie, like it took me a minute. Like I had to walk away from this at one point because I was just getting so frustrated. And sometimes I feel like when I walk away for a while, or I just like change the color of the room, it really, really helps me to just refocus, or I don't know, it just gets my creativity flowing again, I guess. So I thought that the green cabinets, which came with the vampire pack, I believe, I feel like they looked a little bit more old, and they had like the design on the cabinets, which I felt reminded me a lot of like older cabinets, older country cabinets. So I don't know what a country cabinet is, okay? It's just what, like, in my mind, that's how I felt that it should look. So I did add this extra little sink to the side that's not connected to anything because I thought maybe like back in the day, if this was a really old house, they didn't have plumbing, and maybe they just added that sink in later. That sink actually came with laundry day stuff, so yeah, and then I went with like the red floor. So in here in the dining room, it is a little bit cluttered. I actually, when I made this dining room table, I told my daughter, she was standing beside me, and I was like, well, I don't want all the chairs to match. And she's 5, and she's like, yeah. So she helped me pick out the different chairs, which actually, like, they don't match, but like in a good way, if you know what I'm talking about. So I feel like she did a really good job there. And then I added in the little, what do you call that? Like a hutch, like a dining hutch. And of course, the little wicker rug, which again came with laundry day. Like I said, I imagine that maybe like some hippies live here, and I don't know, like they just like the more eclectic stuff. Also, if you saw in the dining room, I stuck a window in there that kind of went out to like the back covered porch, because in my mind, I'm also thinking because it's an older house, maybe the porch was added on later, which I do stick the laundry stuff out there as well. But I was also thinking of like Roseanne. If you guys have ever seen Roseanne, in her kitchen, she actually has a window that looks out onto a connected covered porch. So that's a little bit of what I was going for. And I've also seen it in some older houses around where I live too. So yeah, it's kind of what I was going for. And then here in the living room, which is probably my favorite room in the house, I wanted to just clutter this house up. I have a friend who, her parents, I've known them my whole life, her parents live kind of in this like completely just back in the woods. Their driveway is like 2 miles long. They live in this gorgeous, 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 just like an old log cabin, like a genuine old log cabin. Like they have like outside bathrooms, but I'm telling you, like, it's just a gorgeous area, and I absolutely love it. So I was kind of thinking of that when I built this house. Also, if you guys seen, I do have the red, like the red shelf, and that is a CC item. I will link that in the description below so you guys can check that out. Basically, what that does is it helps snap items to place, like, if you want to move an item that would normally like snap somewhere and you want to move it somewhere else. I don't know. It basically works like that, but it took me a minute to figure it out. Because sometimes when you move objects up and down, you can't really get it exactly level with whatever you're sticking it on. And so that's kind of what that shelf is meant to do. So again, I will put the link in the description below so you guys can check that out. But yeah, it took me a minute to figure it out, because basically whenever you place that shelf, you can recolor it so it disappears. But I didn't want to keep it in my build, because typically all my builds for my save file are going to be CC free. And I didn't want to keep that shelf in there. So what I actually had to do was put the shelf in there, put the objects on the shelf, and then once you click the objects on the shelf, you can actually move them and they'll stay at that right level. So I was able to move them off the shelf, delete the shelf, and then move the objects back. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but that's how I got it to work. So the shelf is not in here. There's no CC item in here. I just use it to place some of the items. But during that rant, you kind of saw the living room come together, and you just saw how crazy I made it, and I absolutely love it. Like, I love the living room. I love that, like, eclectic, cluttered, but, like, really warm and cozy kind of vibe. And then I am working on the dining room, which is a bit cluttered and small as well. I just wanted to get a few more things in there. I do take out that little archway to the kitchen because it gave me a little bit more space, and again, for clutter. And then also you'll notice on the other side, I moved some pet bowls over there because I wanted to make this house pet friendly. Obviously, I feel like they live in the country. Of course, they're going to have dogs and cats. And I kind of put like pet stuff throughout the house. If you notice, you'll notice it as we go on. Just because I feel like they're probably really big pet lovers. And then the people, I put like a nice, like a little nice sized garden outside as well. But in the barn, when we get there, you will see that I actually created like an artist studio. So I kind of imagine maybe an artist and a gardener lives here. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was going for. And then here I am just kind of like adding a little bit more clutter to the kitchen. And this part's like really funny because I'm still like learning how to use this red shelf, right? So I move like one of my objects and I actually, like, it gets lost in the wall. Like here I am, it wouldn't let me click it. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it's lost in the wall. Like I could not get it out. So I don't know what that was all about. I was still learning how to use the shelf, and yeah, it's interesting. So it's just kind of stuck there, but it works fine. Like there's nothing's like wacky about it. I have play tested this house, so yeah, and I just finished like cluttering everything up. I love how the kitchen comes together. I love how it has that large old vibe to it. I don't know. I absolutely love it. So here we are in that back porched area. That's like, I don't know, like maybe a finished porch or just like a mudroom or something. I went ahead and threw the laundry out there. On this build, I actually did put a clothesline and a wash bucket because, again, I kind of figured, like, well, first of all, they're hippies, so I feel like, you know, maybe they just want to, like, save the whole electricity thing. And on top of that, I felt like, again, if it's an old house, these are probably add-ons, so they probably didn't really have a specific laundry room, and they just had to kind of stick it wherever they wanted to put it. So here I am working on the half bath downstairs, and I love this little bathroom because I also imagined it being kind of like an add-on as well. Like maybe there used to be like a porta pot back there, or I don't know, just like not a porta pot, but like an outhouse. That's what I'm thinking of. I keep saying porta pot, not a porta pot, but an outhouse. And yeah, so I just kind of figured like maybe they had room to throw a little bathroom in there as well. And then I go through it and add a couple holes and cracks to the walls. I didn't want it to look like it was abandoned. I just wanted it to look like it was old, like it was worn, but like in a loving way, you know, like this house has seen many generations of family. So here's a part that you will see one of my indecisiveness kind of shine, because when I did the upstairs, I was like, well, let's do it like maybe the upstairs was finished. Like they're working on remodeling the house, and then they only have the upstairs done. But I was like really struggling with the girls' room. I wanted to get a child and a toddler in this room, and I was really struggling with it and eventually I just walk away and recolor everything, and I decide to just leave it kind of old because I wanted the house to like flow. So instead of it being all updated, as you can see, that is one of the parts that I edited out. So, like, that's one of the parts. The other part, I think, was landscaping, and that's it. Everything else, like you guys see. So, let me know if it's a little bit too tedious for you. So, here I am. I decided to do the son's room, and I kind of picture that maybe he's a little bit different from his family. Like, he likes video games and technology, and he's not really into the whole outdoorsy thing. So, I stuck like some video games and a TV and a computer in his room. I felt like that would be like really good for him, and he just, yeah, he's like a little bit different from the rest of his family. He's not into the whole gardening scene, and yeah, he just, I don't know, like he's a little bit more into technology. I tried to resize that fish tank, and like the coral stuck out, so I thought that was really funny. I added a couple shelves in his room, and I love to put that plumb bob picture in like all of my builds. Like, I don't know, it's just been like a thing that I've been doing lately. Like, all my builds have that plumb bob picture. Almost all my builds, I shouldn't say all of them. So yeah, I just kind of clutter up his room a little bit. And so you guys, just like really quick, so I told you today that there's, okay, story time, just a quick story time. So I told you today that there's a blizzard going on, and we're basically like stuck in our house. My husband's a mailman, but of course he had to go outside, and you know, he had to work. And so me and the kids have been like stuck in the house all day, and like we've just been like hanging out in our pajamas, and like, you know, my kids like played Minecraft for a while. I typically, like, our kids have like screen time rules, like, you know, they have to like earn their video games. They can't just like sit in front of the TV and play video games. They're only allowed like a certain time. But today I was like, you know what? There's a blizzard outside. Let's just, you know, let's just hang out. So that's pretty much what we did. And I am working on my Let's Play, which is coming up, which is called Weekend Dad. I'm going to be starting that soon. I'm super excited. It basically revolves around two girls whose parents are separated, and they go to live with their dad on the weekends, and then they live with their mom during the week. And basically they live in 2 different places. They have 2 different houses, so I have to like move them out constantly, like every week, which I thought would be a little bit interesting and a little bit fun. And so yeah, I was like working on that and working on the world, and I wanted to fill up the save pile with just a bunch of builds that like you guys have done. And I was looking on the gallery, and of course, like, I found Simlissy's video, because you guys know that she's really big, like, inspiration to me, and I love to watch her videos. So I found, like, a ton of her builds, and basically just filled up all of New Crest with nothing but Simlissy builds. And I also, like, put her new hotel that she made in Del Sol Valley. So, basically, it's just, like, a whole world of, like a whole save file Simlissy stuff. But I did find a couple other things, and I've been keeping a list on there because I found some really cool lots, and I'm super excited for them. So I kept a list of everything, and then when I do my Let's Play, I'm definitely going to give you guys like credit and shout outs for that, because I don't know, like, you guys, like, it blows my mind some of the things that you guys think of. Like, when I see people build things, I'm like, why did I never think of that? Like, how do people think of these things? I just never do. So yeah, that's kind of what I was working on today. And shout out to my sister-in-law. Her name is Tasha. She's a really big Sims fan. And, like, I was, like, sending her links, like, you have to look at this. And I was like, after I finish this, I'm gonna just create a file for you, and I'm gonna send it to you so you can look at everything. And she's like, okay, like, we're getting all excited about these builds. Like, it's so fun to have. Basically, I have 2 other people in my life that are, like, as nerdy about The Sims as I am, and that's my brother, Steven, who's my best friend. I've talked about him a lot. And then my sister-in-law, Tasha. And Tasha, like, I shouldn't really call her, she's not technically my sister-in-law. She is my brother-in-law's girlfriend. They've been together for a couple years now, and we're really just kind of, like, just now starting to get to know each other because they lived far away, and we've just, like, clicked over The Sims. So, of course, naturally. And I think she's, like, slowly learning how crazy of a sim nerd I actually am. But I feel good about it, because I was kind of, like, holding back at first. I was like, okay, so she likes The Sims. I gotta, like, feel this out, like, how much she likes The Sims. And I can't go super, like, I can't let all my craziness out yet. But I have slowly let my craziness out, and I have found that she is just as crazy about The Sims as I am, which makes me super excited. So yeah, I was like sending her a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like, you have to check out this lot. And I found this one like shopping mall lot. I don't remember who it's by, but I'll link that down in the description as well for you if you guys want to check it out. But it is absolutely amazing. It took my game a while to actually load when I placed it, because there's so much stuff on it. But again, just my mind was blown looking at this lot. I was so excited to look at it, and I just can't believe, like, oh my, like, the amount of time and just the effort people have to take into, like, doing this. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I did all day today. As you can see, a lot of the upstairs has come together. I've got the girls' room put together, and the hallway, which I stuck a computer in. As you can see, I cluttered it, and I just kind of made that flow as well. And again, I just stuck some of the, like, little, like, scratches on the walls, and I just wanted to make it look worn. And then here I am doing the outside. I decided to change the outside to this white. It's actually in the brick. Is it in the bricks? I think it's in the bricks, and it's like a white siding. I've actually used it in my kitchens some of the time for like a background. What do you call it? Like a background, I guess. Black backsplash. That's what I was thinking of, because it just look, I don't know, it's like really old, and like it's like shiplap, you know. So that's what I decided to put on the outside of the house, and it turned out really well. I think it turned, like, it's just really cute, and I felt like with the worn brick it looked really good. So here I am working on the master bedroom, and again, I didn't clutter up the master bedroom that much. I just didn't really have the space. It's kind of an awkward shape, but I was actually able to give them a master bath, which I was really excited about. And I kind of used some of these rugs, like, remind me of like Indian style, I guess. So like I kind of used like that little I don't know what you call it, like, if it's like a, it's not a quilt, I don't know what it, like, I don't know, but it worked out really well. So yeah, and then I add those little awnings over the windows because I thought it was a cute little touch. Sometimes I forget those things exist, and then I see other people using them. I'm like, oh yeah, like I should use those. And then like I go really crazy and like go overboard using them, but I think it turned out really well in this house, so I'm pretty pleased about that. And then again, I did just add like that little bucket, and I put the little, like the smaller bucket inside of it for just a little bit of clutter. And then I kind of like struggled getting that little shelf to like fit in there the right way. It wasn't working very well for me. So then just moving on to their bathroom. I just did like a simple bathroom. It's like a brown bathroom. And again, I started to make it updated, and I was like, no, stop. What are you doing? I don't know why. Like, I just wanted to make it updated. I don't know. So I kind of like play around with it a little bit to kind of get the right fit for it. And it turns out really good in the end. I was yapping away when I did the other bathroom, but I really, really love that pink bathroom. Like, it's just so big, and I feel like it looks realistic. Like, I feel like it's a bathroom that you would actually like walk into, and it's not just The Sims. So yeah, I kind of like changed the wallpaper of here, and I went with like the blue siding. So I guess it is like a little bit more updated than the rest of the house. But I brought in that brick because I love doing that. I love having like the exposed brick, and I thought that turned out pretty well. So yeah, this is pretty much most of the house. We're going to be moving on to landscaping here in a minute. I just kind of like go through and like do a few things. I love the green roof. That roof, like the roof texture came with Get Famous, and it's just very rustic and kind of old feeling. So yeah, I wanted to add that as well. And then again, I just go through and I put a couple of those, like little pillars around the outside, kind of like a, I don't know, like a dividing area. I'm not really sure what it's called, like a seam or something. I don't know. I always forget that we have, what are those called? Like rain spouts. I always forget that we have rain spouts as well. So here I am. I just wanted to like outline a few things, and I decided at the last minute that I was going to put a pond in. So you will see that here in a second. My throat is getting really, really dry, you guys. I had to take a drink. Give me a second. I wasn't expecting this video to be so long. I love to talk, don't get me wrong, but sometimes when I'm like recording videos, I feel like I don't realize how much I talk. So anyways, I was trying to make a, like, what do you call it? Like a cellar. And a lot of times you see in old houses, they have it like connected to their homes. And for some reason, I couldn't figure it out. I know there's like a way to do it, but I felt like it looked really, really weird when I did it. So I do kind of mess around with it a little bit. And that's one thing that when I take a break from it, you'll see that I actually figure out a different way to get that cellar in there, and it kind of just like goes through the barn in the end. But that's part of the video that I did edit out that you guys don't see. Yeah, so there it is. And I just basically what I did is I just like kind of cut into the barn and made an area. You'll see when we go inside. I also feel like I could have done a little bit more in the barn, but I don't know, like, I like how it turned out. It's not as cluttered as the house, which I thought was a little bit weird. The upstairs, there's like a little loft upstairs in the barn. That's pretty cluttered, but other than that, that's basically it. So I know that we got like a new pond thing with my plants kept like, for some reason when I put them on the pool, they kept like trying to connect to the foundation for some reason. It was really weird. I've never had that happen. So if you see that, that's why. Anyways, I know that we got a new pond from, I think it was is it Get Famous that we got the new pond from? I'm pretty sure. And, I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a pool pond anyway. I didn't put any, like ladders or anything for them to get in, so they can't really swim in it. I just like covered it with flowers, so they really can't access it, but it turned out pretty well. I love how I used it. I kind of like use the same plants over and over again. Again, this is just part of me learning how to landscape, so you kind of see me like being a little bit indecisive. I delete things, I move things, But I thought that it turned out really cute, you guys. My skills, my landscaping skills are improving. I sized up those white flowers too, and I thought that they just popped, and I absolutely loved it. I love those white flowers. Like when you size them up, they just like stick out from everything, and it turned out pretty good. Then I put like a big tree over here. I added another tree, and I kept that little well thing there, and then I had to take the foundation down because again, all of the plants they just click to the foundation, and like I said, for some reason I had an issue where when I was putting plants around the pool, they just wanted to like click to the foundation, and I wasn't even anywhere around it. So I don't know what was up with that, but I moved the foundation down, and I just add a couple flower beds through here, and they're really nothing fancy. Basically I just add, like, I wanted to make it look more like it was like overgrown and not so much like it was a planned flower bed or something that's like completely kept up on. But again, I use those white flowers. I love them. If you size them up, I'm telling you, they're gorgeous. And then I just take these like little, I don't know, they're kind of like a flowery bush, and I just stuck them around the back of the house. And I also add a back porch so you can get out of the back of the house. And then here in a minute, I think here in a minute, maybe like after I do the barn, there's a part that I edit again. So there's 3 edits, okay? So there's the edit with the girls' bedroom, and then where was the other edit at? I don't remember. Anyways, basically I edited 3 things out, and that's it. So I feel like that's pretty good. But if you guys think that it's too tedious, like, to watch me do these builds, or you think the builds are too long, let me know, because I'm really, really curious, because it seems like some people are like, I love to watch you do the whole thing, and then other people are like, you know, it's probably best that you take them out. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. But here I am in the barn, and I just created this really tiny loft space. And at first I had those 2 little windows there, and then I wanted to add the bigger windows because I was like, if this is going to be an artist place, I wanted something for her to look out on. Like maybe she was looking out on the trees or looking just out at nature so she could get some inspiration. And then I originally stuck a yoga mat in here because I kind of figured maybe she would like do yoga to like get inspiration or whatever. And also I found that pond and I was going to put it down. I was like, no. So anyways, I was kind of like thinking maybe she like does yoga so she can get some inspiration before she paints or whatever. And I end up getting rid of it because I wanted to add a few other things, like the little painting supply thing. I wanted to add that. And then I put those lights up there because I thought it was really cute. I just thought like it kind of added to that hippie vibe. So yeah, I added a few more things like that little painting, I don't know, like painting supply thing. And then I went in and pulled these out. I think they're from the debug menu, but I'm not sure. But they're just basically like they hold your painting. So I thought it was like really cool to have that up there. Like maybe she stores some of her older paintings, and I just kind of wanted to make it like her own little area. Like she comes up here and paints, and I stuck a radio up there because I also imagined her like maybe turning on some music and painting and jamming to music. And yeah, it turned out to be like a really cute little area, so I'm super proud of it. I really, really like it. And then down below on the first floor, I actually put, I think, like a woodworking bench and something else. What do I put down there? Oh, like a flower arranging area. I thought that would be really cute. Originally, I was going to make it kind of like storage, but because I forgot that I added that cellar in, and I was like, no, I should make the cellar storage and then use the downstairs for just like, I don't know, like skill building. So that's kind of what I did. So I went ahead and stuck the flower station in there, and then I was just kind of like going back and forth. Like I kind of wanted to add that paint thing in there, but I do eventually get rid of it and add cabinets. I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't necessary, so I added like these little cabinets. I typically put those in my garages whenever I make garages, if you've noticed. But I thought it would be like really cool to have that here, like maybe somebody does woodworking. And oh, I did put that in there. Oh, I'm so proud of me for that. So yeah, I stuck some like flower pots in here, and I was like, no, I'll get rid of them, and I do eventually add a large garden, which you'll see. And I think I like it a lot better how I ended up making it. So again, that's just one of those things that I did edit out, but pretty much the rest is not edited out. So anyways, back to a little bit of story time. We're stuck in the house. Yeah, like I'm working on this Let's Play. I've got all these videos. There's the edit. So you just saw me like skip to everything and like, wow, all of a sudden the outside is done. But yeah, I am super excited for this Let's Play, guys. I don't remember what I was gonna say. I don't remember what my story is gonna be about. I'm really excited for this Let's Play. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that because I think you're really gonna like it. I don't think I've ever really seen anybody else do anything like that, so I'm really excited. But here on the outside, just to show, literally explain a few things, I put a tent out here because I thought it'd be really cute. I have a garden. I kind of like cut into the driveway and decided to just put a garden out front. I put a swing set out front. There's an entrance to the garden. There's lights along the path. There's another little planting area. It just turned out so cute. I super love this area. Typically, I make all this stuff in the backyard because, like, I guess in real life I like that, like, privacy. But I guess if you lived out in the country, you know, you would have a little bit more privacy, so you could have things like that in the front yard. So yeah, everything turned out pretty well, and I stuck a little, I forgot that I did that. I stuck the little water balloon bucket, and then here I am, I wanted to make this patio space look a little bit more welcoming, because I feel like that's really the only spot that they have outside where they can, like, just really sit other than around the fire. But I thought that would be like a good place to have, like, if they did cookouts or whatever. And then here I am just doing the porch, just adding a few finishing touches. And then I move on to the cellar, which I just stick a few cluttered items down there as well. There's really nothing in the cellar that you can use. So you guys, this video is coming to an end. I am really glad that you stuck through this video. Again, let me know what you think about editing things out. Do you prefer it? Would you rather me leave it? Was it too tedious? Too long? Whatever, let me know. I will be hopefully posting another video for you guys tomorrow. I'll be getting that Let's Play up. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you liked this video, and I will see you all later. Bye.